Hello there everybody and welcome back to Atelier Meruru. Since the last video I've done a little bit of preparing off screen. I'd like to take on a couple more of these development tasks. We also need to go speak to Rufus in order to get an update on how the lizard situation is going. My Homs are making a couple of things for me in preparation for future things coming up, and we are pretty much ready to hit the road. We just need to make a quick stop at the study.
Rufus, I need to talk to you. I'm having a problem with those lizards.
So I've heard. The lizards increase in number, despite the great many adventurers out hunting them down. We need to find a way to repel the lizard invasion before they get any closer to the city.
If we could somehow take out the lizard's boss, wouldn't that stop the invasion?
Eventually, yes. But there is a proper order for everything. We must first deal with their current encroachment. The main Arl stronghold is our outpost to the east. An increase in soldiers and supplies is required. I will arrange the placement of soldiers. I need you to supply the weapons. Here are the details.
Got it. It's not gonna be easy gathering that much stuff, but I'll get it done.
Okay, thank you Rufus. Let's take a look at what this says. Enhancing the outpost, we are going to need to make witch salves and cannons. Now luckily these are both low level items and you probably have more than enough supplies to make them. I made them off screen in advance and we're going to be delivering those. I currently have 110 development points. However, I think I'd like to go out and finish this request first before I buy anything. There's still a few buildings that I can get, but the main one I want is going to cost me 140 points. And off screen, the Overhaul Academy finished. MP cost for synthesis is reduced and you will gain a use bonus for synthesized items. And we get a nice increase, even though we don't need it. We just have more people coming to the kingdom. It's actually starting to look pretty nice. We've got a little bit of empty space over here, but for the most part, I think we have a pretty spiffy looking kingdom. Anyways, let's head over to Hart Outpost to deliver our items. We haven't been here in a while, but there's not really anything of interest to do here right now. A lot of the enemies are low level, and I actually had my female Hom collecting items in this area for quite an extensive amount of time, so I don't need materials either. The soldier we're seeking is on the second floor of the first building. We're facing a long, drawn-out battle. We must not underestimate how many weapons we need. So the first thing is the witch salves. I had to make 3 of them with the sleepy effect, which was pretty easy for me to do. Unfortunately, the cannons were not so easy. I mistook the word blinding for binding. I made 3 cannons excitedly with the binding trait, only to find out that I read it wrong, and so I ended up having to make all 6 of them, which is okay because they are low level items and it didn't take me a whole lot of time to make. And they've started their defense. Alrighty, task complete. With this many supplies, we're sure to fend off those lizards next time they invade. The defense of the outpost should be all set, but we're not done yet. Next comes, oh right! I need to get stronger so I can take out the lizards, no problem. In which case, I'll need to train. I wonder if there's anyone around here who'd be a good master for me. Alright, so we get some points. We finished up that request. And before we go, we should probably check in with our uncle, seeing as how it's been a little while. He hasn't moved, he's still in his exact same spot over here. What's up, Uncle Geo?
Salutations, Princess of Arles. Still wandering around, I see. I keep hearing about your varied accomplishments.
Hi, Uncle Geo. Accomplishments? I've just been using alchemy to help develop the kingdom.
Haha, you're too humble. But it's the people at large who assess your actions. Always bear that in mind.
You're right. I'll keep working as hard as I can.
I've also heard that Ent has appeared near ours. It's been causing some problems, apparently.
You got that right. Do you know anything about the forest, Uncle?
As an adventurer, I've learned a certain amount. This is the first time I've seen it for myself. Ent was once just a battered old tree. It didn't move, of course, nor was it nearly as big as it is now. But one day, a giant crystal was found stuck in one of the limbs. And it's said that once that crystal appeared, the tree known as Ent began moving on its own.
I see. So what's the deal with this crystal thing?
Nobody knows for sure. Some say that the crystal has an inherent power that grants free will to plants. Others say it's a curse placed on the tree by a sorcerer long ago. But of course, these are all just stories.
So if I bust that crystal apart, Ent might turn back into a normal forest?
It's possible. But regardless, I'm sure you will face resistance. Are you really so curious about that forest?
I am. I was taught to be scared of Ent when I was a kid, but now I know it's not that bad as long as you stay away.
That's right. Consider your choices well. Crystal or no crystal, that place is full of dangerous creatures. Skilled adventurers have gone in, never to come out again. And those that do return rarely do so unscathed. You're an adventurer and alchemist, so I can't tell you not to. But please, think carefully before you act.
I understand. Thank you, Uncle. If the forest of Ent keeps on moving, it's gonna make development tough. If I could just find a way to stop it.
Okay, so Geo is a little bit behind the times. Ent appeared a really, really long time ago, but I just hadn't really had the opportunity to come and speak to him. But it'll become relevant later when we actually get around to going to Ent. And I'm going to take a quick look. I'm 10 development points short of where I wanted to be. So I think we are going to zip on up to Quayle Forest and deliver one of the items for this request. I had mentioned that I always have a very, very hard time finishing up Quayle Forest for whatever reason. I'm missing one ingredient for the living cart. I've had the mighty filters for a very, very long time. I made those as soon as I could, and I don't even think I have the recipe for the land clasps, to be completely honest. But we've waited long enough. I haven't come to Quayle Forest in a little while, and I'm going to deliver this. Just to get the points mostly, but it's also nice to visit Quayle Forest. It's so beautiful and tranquil. So to make the water quality better, I have made 3 mighty filters with the big trait. And thank goodness I only had to make 3 because they are quite the pain in the butt to make, if I do say so myself. They're one of those higher level items. And with that, I have 150 development points. So let's use our warp gate to go back to Arles. Alright, I am now back at the workshop. The one item that I am needing to create right now that I'm pretty much just waiting on is the jarred mushroom. I visited the Endless Corridor in order to get the royal crowns that I needed. The only item I was missing was the rainbow oil. Now, I have my Hom making it right now, and I'm going to need one more of these because I don't believe that I can actually only get away with making one with the effect that's needed, which isn't a big deal. I don't mind waiting. However, once I'm able to do that, it's going to unlock a bunch of new things to do. I'm basically taking things in little baby steps. I pretty much did what I wanted to do in this video. It's going to be 11 more days until Hom is finished making the rainbow oil. I'll probably just mess around a little bit off screen and find some things to do. But let's go to the tavern and look at some requests. And just do a couple of more things in this video, although I'm not sure if this is fun to watch 53 videos later, seeing as how I've been doing this for quite a while, but I feel like a game like this, it's pretty important to just show every little thing, because that's kind of what this game is, to be honest. Not a whole lot of requests, which is unfortunate. Hannah hasn't put out a new bulletin either, so everything is pretty quiet in Arles. There's a couple of other things on our development list, but not a whole lot that I can actually work towards. Some of these modern tasks I either just haven't bothered with because it's not worth the time, or I'm not able to complete it, or for example this one here, win while critical. For the most part I'm more powerful than my enemy, so being in a critical state is kind of hard to achieve at this point unless I'm going up against a boss. So some of these are actually worth quite a bit of points, which is kind of a shame. I'd like to get some of these so I can get all of my buildings built, but I'm not worrying too much about it. I'm mostly focused on Yuval right now, and like I have said before, I really do want to try and get Ent, as well as the Endless Corridor done. With my 150 points, I'd like to go back to Rufus now. And there is one building in particular that I would like to build, and that was going to be the overall school. And the reason for that is friends in battle will earn the same experience, and I'll also get a population increase. At this point in the game, it's not really relevant because I have picked my party, but the overhaul school is definitely something you might want to get earlier on in the game if you plan on switching out party members often. I just figured that would be a good goal to shoot for, seeing as how I had just finished the overhaul academy. The legendary statue is something I probably won't get around to because I do need so many development points for it. And the only other building that we have to build is the Memorial Park, which is definitely within our reach if I manage to really work hard and get some more development points. We've pretty much built everything that there is to build in Arles. We are really close to getting our full points for the next rank. And again, we have soared above 100,000 people, so that's nothing to worry about. So off screen, I'm going to try and do a couple of more things. I want to work on my alchemy level a little bit. I'd like to get that up to 50 if possible. I'd also like to get my adventurer level up to 50 if possible, of course, just to get that all maxed out so I'm more prepared for the battles to come. Gonna let some time pass and do some item synthesis off screen so that we can get back to the action in the next video. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will be seeing you next time.